There we go.
There we are, buddy. How are you?
There we are. Now, before we get started, I want to show a comment. I'm sure you
Okay,
saw
I haven't because for some reason I saw that one on YouTube. Yeah,
it.
I have. I actually can't see the chat at all on here today. I don't know why.
So actually, you can get there's a little circle atop, and there should be a number there right beside it. You can click on that.
Yeah, I did. It moves the screen across, so it should show them, but I can't see anything. It's just a black square.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I was replying to the YouTube comments via my phone, but I can't see any of the chat. So I'm sorry,
Well,
anyone.
just let me bring this down. So let me say this. So Lex now has the power to go into my melon because back in January, I mentioned to Melon that they really need to put it in there to allow people to have admins or something along those lines. So I wrote to Melon and they said, well, that's funny. We were thinking about it. So I said, well, you need to do it. And they said, well, we're definitely going to do it. And what, 5 months later, it's up. So, and that's great. So, Lex, see, Lex has the power of all the sounds now.
It's dangerous giving me this power.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous actually. So yeah, so I invited Lex as a guest or a team. They're actually calling it team. It is still in beta, so maybe that's what the problem is because it is in beta.
Maybe.
So I'll write to them and let them know that what was happening at your end. So
So
they
if
can
anyone
fix it.
does want to say something to me in the chat, say it more than once so Brian sees it, so he puts it up on screen. Because otherwise, I ain't seeing nothing.
Well, you can see it on your phone, right?
Only the YouTube ones.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. So we have a great show today, guys, and we're going to do something a little bit different. We've never done this before, so it should be a lot of fun. We're going to be bringing on Laura from the Whispering Angels. So we're going to be talking to her at the beginning of the show, and then if somebody in the room wants a reading, we will share out the link so you can come up and you can have a reading done by Laura. She's also going to be not reading me. I forbid her to read me. I do not want a reading. And but she's going to be reading Lex today. And before we came on air, she was already picking up stuff about Lex. So this should be interesting. We get to find out maybe some dirt we don't know about Lex.
This could be a career ender, you know. You could find out some dark stuff.
Yeah. So and then after that, we are going to see what she does because she does have her own show called obviously the Whispering Angels. She does have a Facebook page. She is also on TikTok and she also is on Parapost Network Central, and all the links are below. So if you want to go over and follow her, she also has a YouTube channel as well. So if you want to follow her YouTube channel, that'd be great. And that's why she's here, right? So people can get to know her because not only is she a fantastic person, she is also the administrator for the Global Ghost Hunt. Now, I know I don't have the new video up, and the new video will go up for next week, and that will show the dates of when the Global Ghost Hunt will be up next year. And that is between May 4th and May 14th and October 19th to October 29th of next year. So I will bring up that new video next week. And unfortunately, and I know a lot of people are going to be sad in this room, and I'm sorry that I'm starting it now, but Lex will not be here next week. So Lex is
there's an event in my city. It's a Formula One racing event, and because the stadium is near where I work, we've got about 200,000 people in the city visiting for the event. So I've been drafted in to stay at work and deal with that because it's going to be incredibly mega. And I was just about to say to everyone as well, if you haven't already, please wish my co-host, my friend, a happy birthday. He's 21 today. Everyone.
Oh, look at this. Look what Patty put up. This is funny.
I'm always in Brian's melon.
Oh, Lord. This is going to be dangerous for him to have that. So and also I've also thank you, Dom. Dom is saying happy birthday as well. And it's funny when we were uh, during that 10 minutes, I saw an old friend come into the room that I haven't seen in quite a few years. And I'm hoping she's going to say something. Her name is Odile. And she's been a longtime friend of mine. How I met her was when I was cutting hair. I worked with her in a salon. Yes, you can all laugh. Yes, I was a hairstylist for 13 years. So Odile is in the room as well, and she's been a very, very long time friend. And I'm hoping she's still in the room. It says here she is, but that's fantastic. And I think this is the first time she's been in the room. So Carlos, thank you. Carlos just said happy birthday and stuff like that. So there's a few things that we want to talk about before we actually get the show started. And so we're going to start off with the negative. And I'm going to let Lex go with that. Lex, everybody knows Lex. His filter can be turned off sometimes. And when he's upset, it can be turned on very, very quickly. So there's been some things that have happened over the last week and a bit that neither of us are happy about. And so we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're not going to get into real names because I don't think that should be done. Well, maybe Lex will say names. I'm not going to say names. So, yeah. So you know what? I'm going to let Lex go. And he's got a couple things that he wants to say. So bear with us, and then we'll start the show with Laura.
We'll start the cool bit. So I don't know if anyone has noticed that there is a certain page that we don't shout out on here anymore for sponsoring us, putting them on their platform and letting us stream through them. That would be DNTV, if you remember that we were signed on with them, which at the beginning seemed like a good relationship. We had terms and agreements set up. It was awesome. However, due to a minor dispute, if you want to call it that, not with me, but with one of them, and for some reason, them picking a reason to get upset with Bryan for no reason, without informing us, they decided to block Bryan and delete our access to their stream site. And this is particularly annoying because I don't know why people forget this. I currently co-own this show. I was in that meeting when we signed on to this show, and yet I was not informed by anyone from DNTV that the show was getting cut from the platform, and they didn't give me a reason why. So I found out through Bryan, who obviously straight away told me why, which don't want to divulge too much into because it's irrelevant. Like, there's nothing. It's not a big thing. It wasn't anything we did, but they decided to cut ties with us. So I sent their page a very polite message. Bryan's seen it. I just said to them that I don't find their act very professional. I don't understand why they've cut us from the platform, and yet I want them to explain to me why I wasn't informed, seeing as I currently co-own the show. The response I got back was not very good. They said, and this is my favorite line, something along the lines of, "When we agreed to put you on the show, we agreed that it'd be a drama-free station. Rah, rah, rah." And I was like, right, but it was you that caused drama. We didn't do anything. We didn't do anything on the show to piss them off. We didn't do anything to them personally. Bryan didn't do anything to anyone anyway. I wasn't involved. It's all from their side. So the hypocrisy is so strong in their own team. You can't claim to be drama-free and then start drama and then kick people off your show. So if you have a show with DNTV and that you're on their platform, I suggest you leave. You don't have to, obviously, but I would just cut ties with them. The act of unprofessionalism we've seen from them for something that we didn't do, and something that didn't involve one of us, either way, was absolutely ridiculous. They breached the agreement that we had. They're unprofessional and they're full of shit. The stuff they promise you doesn't happen. Even when we know things take time, we just keep getting told all this good stuff's coming, doesn't do it. So if you are on DNTV and you don't want to be involved with stupid petty crap, which will get you kicked off their site for no reason, suggest taking your show off there themselves. And to the owners of DNTV, I just want to say a massive fuck you. The biggest hypocrites I've seen since I was in a former group. It's absolutely insane. I can't believe that you've got all of this fucking apparent influence, that you've got all these numbers, you were throwing numbers at us. The only reason your platform was doing as well as it was recently, because we were on it. We brought viewers to you, which if you haven't noticed by now, you've now lost those viewers. You're also losing shows, which because people can see that you're a bunch of cunts and you've wasted everybody's time and effort. We put a lot of effort into. Sorry, I don't care. We've put a lot of effort into this show over the past year. We have great guests on this show that deserve to be seen, and you've just restricted half the people that could watch it can't find us anymore. So thankfully, a lot of them have come over from onto Parapost to see us on here. Some of them see us through G Team. Some of us see it through YouTube. So thankfully, we have kept some of them. And unfortunately, those that haven't been able to find out where we stream, hopefully they do find us. But absolutely massive fuck you to everyone at DNTV who owns the platform, because you're a bunch of hypocrites. And God forbid anyone does work with you. And I don't wish you any good luck in the future. I hope your platform fails, mate. But other than that, we're going to
I will. Yeah, I will make one comment about that. There was a bunch of us that did a live the other night, and we were talking about the global ghost hunt, and everybody knows the show that we were on. I'm not going to say the name, but during that show, the show was deleted off the page.
Which is great, because the owner of that show wasn't involved in drama either. So why the hell is he doing it?
Yeah, exactly. And so it was really, really disappointing for me to see what happened. But we're moving on. Mm-hmm. We're forgetting about them. And that's it. And we're not going to talk about them anymore. And they can go do what they want to do. I know there's a lot of people that are upset with them right now. I know there's other networks that are upset with them right now, and they're getting a shellacking as we speak. And they've stepped on a lot of toes, and they know they've stepped on toes, and they're getting, like I said, they're getting a shellacking, and they deserve it, because they lied to me. They lied to Lex. They promised us things that never happened. And we got, like Lex said, we got the same story. Oh, it's going to happen. It takes time. It takes time. Well, you know what? We've been on their platform for what, 5 months?
Yeah, I'll also give you a heads up. When someone tells you that you might be getting a sponsorship from a brand, I'll tell which one we were told. We were told Coca-Cola. When a sponsorship doesn't take up to 5 months to set up, it's you sort out what needs to be done. They say yes, they say no. You start getting sponsored, you don't get sponsored. Either or, it's not a 5 month long process to sort it out. And we got told almost every week, it's coming, we're sorting it out, we're going to get you a sponsor. Coca-Cola are in talks with us. No, they're probably not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they even contacted them, but judging from the characters, I would say no. And I apologize to anyone in the chat who is upset, or if I upset anyone with my language. I know I dropped the hard C word, but I'm English. We use it like a everyday thing here. But also, I just get really pissed off when people just use you for other stuff, and then when they're done with you, they just get rid of you. It's the most fake shit you can ever see. I hate fake people. I hate fake brands, and that's what they are. It really, I don't know if anyone could tell, but it really irritates me when people do this stuff. So hopefully that's me done anyway. I just wanted to say it. This has happened a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't said anything, and it just keeps building after the emails. And I was just like, you know what? I just need to say my shit so I can drink my coffee and calm down and move on to positive stuff.
Yes, exactly. And hopefully he doesn't.
And to Dom, I would love to be. We don't have a presidency here, but if we became one, I would definitely run for it.
So all that aside, we're moving on. And yes, you're right, Patty. They have broken a lot of bridges up to this point, and they're breaking more. And people are recognizing what they're doing, and they're walking away. And good on them. Mm-hmm. And that's it. We're not going to talk about it anymore unless something else happens that upsets Lex, and he can go crazy and wild, and that's it. So we are going to move on with the show, because we got somebody great today, and this is all about positive now, and stuff like that. If anybody wants to contact us and talk to us privately, we're more than happy to do that. But other than that, we're not going to do it live anymore. So we've said our piece and that's it. So this person that's coming up, like I said at the beginning, she has a show called Whispering Angels. You can find her links below. She's great at what she does. I love what she does during her show. She pulls out the spirit box and she talks to all kinds of different people. And me and Dom were in her show the other day. I think it was on Thursday. And Dom and me both saw something behind her. That was incredible. And but I'm really, really happy. And on top of that, this is the first time we've ever had a medium on the show. So I'm excited about that as well. And if you don't know Laura, you're going to get to know her because she's also the administrator for the Global Ghost Hunt. So she's the Jill of all trades. Earlier, before we came on live, I said Jack of all trades, but then that wasn't right. So it's definitely Jill of all trades. So anyways, other than that, let me introduce you to Laura from the Whispering Angels. And I don't want to say her last name because I think it's Gaetano. I'm pretty sure that's right. And I'm sure she'll correct me when she comes on. So everyone, here is Laura from the Whispering Angels.
Hey, everyone.
Am I getting it right?
Gaetano? You're correct. I was over here trying to do pineal gland activation and sage all of this. when Lex came out with that C word, I was like, please don't do the camera on me right now. I lost it.
Oh, you know, you got. I love Lex for that because he doesn't hold back. And I think at the beginning when we first started the show, I think Lex mentioned that. I can't recall if he did. I think we talked about it at one point that there was really going to be no filter if we had a problem with somebody. Because I actually did mention when we first started the show that we will do shows down the road that will talk about people that fake videos. And I think Lex said, well, I'm not going to hold back. I'm just going to let you know. And
I'd like to consider myself one of the most authentic people on YouTube because, I mean, Bryan, you've met me in person. Exactly how I am here is what I was like. I mean, I gave him shit for driving stupidly. So, but he wasn't even driving badly. He was just ignoring the sat. He was just following the sat nav when I said not to. It's no biggie. I just lost my temper.
I'm proud to that bromance. Just to let everybody know.
It's so funny that he nagged you about your driving, like he's the wife.
I will tell you exactly. I'll quickly go through what happened. Right, so we were driving for ages. Like this was meant to be an hour and a half drive. It ended up taking like 4, maybe almost up to 5 hours. We were meant to be home. We were driving back to mine, and we were supposed to be here by. It would have taken us till about 1 a.m. We got back here at 4:45 a.m. So 4:45, and it was a stressful drive. But every time we were trying to get onto a different freeway, there was diverting traffic off of it because there was so much construction being done. But there was no one doing any work, which me and Bryan couldn't see a single worker the entire time.
And it was just all cones. All cones. It was just cones going up the road.
And it was just constantly happening. So I was like, okay, don't listen to the sat nav, but leave it on because it will redirect when we get onto a place where we can stay on. So I will just direct you following the diversion signs. And anyway, we get to this roundabout, which England is full of, by the way. It's ridiculous. So Bryan, he starts to go round one, and I went, no, it's that way. And he went, no, the sat nav's that way. And I was like, don't listen to the fucking sat nav. Like, I told you not to listen to that. You listen to me. It's that way. And like we were like stopped in the road, and I don't know why I flipped so much I think it's because we were tired. We've been driving for a long time, but I just like flipped out of nowhere.
Yeah, so
we got back, and he's like, "You actually gave me shit."
You know, it's funny because our schedule was so busy, and like we would go to a location, we'd have to be there at 8 or 9. We weren't leaving till 1 or 2, and then there was always a problem coming home because we were staying with my sisters, and then I stayed with Lex for I think about a week or so. But there was always an issue coming home. We were always being diverted off to another road, and it's funny what Lex said. They weren't doing anything. It was just cones along the road.
And it was legit, like every time we drove home. So getting to the locations was fine. No diversions. Life was good. We got there at good times. We arrived late a couple of times, but only like a few minutes, no biggie. But it was always going back. And I was like, surely we would have seen this work on the way down. But no, they just put up cones and went home.
Yeah. So then when we got back home, which is usually between 5 and 6, we would sleep all day, get up at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then have dinner. And then we were off to the next investigation. And that was nonstop for, I think, 7 days at one point.
Yeah.
And then we had a day off. And yeah, it was, but I will say, during our driving, yeah, I was screwing up a lot, but we did have a lot of good talks during our driving, and we really, really got to know each other really, really well, and that was the investigations were great, but that was the best part. I was able to spend a lot of time with Lex, and
here's how you can tell we knew each other, because by day 9, you and me weren't saying anything in the car. We're like, and we spoke about everything. I was like, I don't know what to say at the moment. Oh, something will come up. I was like, it just got really weird for like 20 minutes of silence, which we didn't have the entire time. It was great.
Yeah. So why don't we get started? We're not here to talk about ourselves. We're here to talk about Laura. And so I guess the first question I'd like to ask you, that we ask every guest, what is your origin story? How did you get into the paranormal?
Well, for as long as I can remember, I've always had like a draw to, I hate to say this because it's going to come out the way I don't mean it, but I remember being young and thinking that I wanted to be a witch, always. But I would always say, no, not a bad witch, a good witch, right? So fast forward, I never really had any gifts or anything that I knew of. 2014, I had just been out of the military. I served 14 years in the Army, and so I get all my care at the VA. Had a surgery. They almost killed me. I had internal bleeding for 2 days that they didn't catch, and so ended up going through like this whole spiritual awakening transition type thing. Not the white light at the end of the tunnel like you think most people talk about, but I think what it did was it drained me enough to open me up, right? So at that point, I just was in church constantly. I couldn't get enough of the spirit in church, so I was going to another church, so 4 days a week. Then I was going to the coat closet trying to help with the donations at the church to give to people, then food pantry, and like I just couldn't get enough. I could feel the spirit all the time. Then I started having visions and speaking in tongues, and then I just started knowing things about people, and my pastor was like, "That, yeah, that's discernment." And then it just kept getting stronger and stronger, and fast forward, here we are. So, yeah, there it is.
Did you have I mean, I like I mean, I know it's a tragic incident that kind of awakened you into it. I think we've had maybe 2 or 3 guests that have had a similar thing where they've technically
Jay
died,
Hill being one of them. Jay Hill. Yeah.
So like, and then they come back and they've been blessed with this new gift. And I like to say that because it is almost like you're being given a gift to apologize for the situation you were in, and you've been given one of the greatest gifts of all. Did you have any awareness before that happened though? Was you completely shut off? Did you believe in it beforehand, or was it just something you just never thought about, or what? You know what I mean?
Well, I was preoccupied with paranormal, but I wasn't allowed. You know, my mom was like, I mean, if I talked about Ouija boards or being a witch or any of those things, you know, it wasn't allowed. It was something, you know, that's how religion has formed. Unfortunately, the people before us, right? I think that we're just now getting into the spiritual veil thinning enough where people are becoming more woke and realizing that spirituality is so much more than just like what a book says, right? But yeah, I mean, I feel that I probably had the gifts to a point. They just hadn't been revealed to me yet. I mean, I remember things like my parents were divorced, and I would just out of the blue know, like, oh, my dad's going to call me today. Like, it just so, like, random little things like that would come to me, but nothing close. I would have never imagined that I would be blessed with what I've got today.
It's almost that poetic things happening for a reason, isn't it? So, but also I commend you for your service, by the way, as well. I have military family, so I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting you say that about your family because of my sensitive abilities, I never told my family,
Mhm.
and it was something that I always hid. Did you like once this all happened to you and things really started coming through? Were you more open to your family about it, or did you still hide it, or does most of your family know now, or?
So it's very split. Like I pretty much try to keep this off my main profile page, even on Facebook, because I do have, I do try to respect other people's thoughts. So I have a lot of church family on there from when I was in church all the time, right? Um, Family, like my mom, she's gone now. She passed last year, but she knew, and we had several talks because she was kind of concerned, like, hey, are you sure you know? So we talked through it, and my sister and her husband know, my kids know, but both of my kids and my grandson are gifted as well. So my brother, he's a cop, and he's kind of like no nonsense, and I just don't want to hear his mouth, so I've never really said anything to him. I love him to death, but he would give me a hard time, I'm sure. Like, okay, yeah, whatever, you know. So, um, it's almost like I don't know if you've ever seen like Beyonce says she turns into someone else on stage, right? Like I feel like I I am who I am. However, I feel like when it's time to bless others with, their validations and closures, I feel almost as if I become who I'm supposed to be at that moment, if that makes sense.
Hmm. I'm just reading some of the comments here, and we've gotten quite a few nice comments. Some about your service. Dom
Thank you,
said, "Thank you
everyone.
for your service." Um, I think it was PDX talked about how they go on road trips and the bonding they do when her and Patty. Also, Rosanna said, "Sorry about your mom,"
Thank you.
and just a lot of really nice comments.
Thanks, everyone.
Here's the one about I can totally relate when Patty and I go on road trips. We have a lots of bonding talking time. It's amazing, and it's when we go on to these road trips and these investigations, you do talk a lot, and generally you'll talk about the location for the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you get into something else,
Right.
and then all the way home you're talking about how great the location was, and you hope you caught a lot of different things. So, anyways, go ahead, Lex.
So yeah, so with the when you discovered about this blessing you got, what did you initially think of it at the very? I know you said you were doing all this church stuff, you were constantly feeling the spirit, and you put yourself all in all. What was the initial thought when you first realized that you've got something here?
Well, that the devil was tricking me, and that he's trying to make me feel like it's a gift from God, but it's not, and I'm going to go against everything I'm supposed to and burn in hell. And I went through a ton of prayers. I'm going to give you guys a very short story, but I went through a ton of prayers, like, God, if this is what's meant to be, let me be your vessel and open me up, keep using me, keep building, right? And if not, please take it from me. And I was asking for very specific validations, and the very first person that I ended up doing a public reading for, because I was loose tongued from a couple of mixed drinks, um, ends up having me at her house for a huge spirit party where I, did a big group reading. And she pulls me back in the back room when I first get there and says that, I was really on the fence. My Uncle Pat, I don't know the Catholicism, like all of the terms that they use for their people, but he was like a retired priest, right? So she said, I was really on the fence about talking to him about you telling me about Nick because of where he's from, da da da. But when I told him what happened, the first thing he said is, that's God's hand, right? And then the message continued, and it was very much exactly what I had been praying. Like, I got that message through that priest. So at that point, I just was like, okay, I've got goosebumps just talking about it. I got to the point I was like, okay, I'm ready. Use me. Here I go. So, yep.
And if anybody, I don't know, I'm sure a lot of people in the room have seen your show on Parapost Network Central or your personal Facebook page, or your group page, the Whispering
Right.
Angels page. Um, how did that start? And why did you want to do that? Like, I know sometimes, because the only reason why I asked that is because you did hide it from your family. You didn't want to tell family members, but you brought out the Facebook page, and I want to get into also how the SB7 came about as well.
Mhm.
And because that's like, so what made you want to do the group page?
So I started joining these groups on Facebook where you could do free readings for people, but initially I was very uncomfortable like speaking, right? So I would
Mm.
do ones where I'd say post a picture and then I would tell them all about their loved one who had passed. And so I, it all came about basically in short because I know that I was given this gift to help other people, and not just with the comfort of knowing that their loved ones are okay and still around them, right? And for them to be able to get that next step to move forward and feel okay about the passing. Um, but I also feel that I have a higher mission. So funny because sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, man, if I'd have heard this 10 years ago from someone else, I'd be like, this person's a nut, right? But like, I feel that I don't want to get into the whole biblical thing about it. I feel that people like myself, that we have a higher mission to help other people become more woke. So as the, the people are ready, prepared for what the spiritual realm has for us, I think that more and more of us will come forward and it'll start becoming an all encompassing thing for people rather than following just books that are written, for structure.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. So you want to ask about the SB7, Lex?
Yeah, I'm quite intrigued about how the SB7 fits into all of this.
So, my oldest daughter sent me a clip. I think the lady was on TikTok, maybe. She may have actually even been from England. She had a really cute accent. But she was doing some kind of investigation, and she had this box, and she had built the box. So, of course, at that point, I'm like, well, wait a second, because I was in the army. I'm like MacGyver. I should be able to build this box, right? So, I'm going to have to actually unplug it.
MacGyver. There's.
Right.
Do you know who
Oh,
MacGyver is, Lex?
The only
it's
reason I
too
know is
young.
because they're mentioned on American sitcoms all the time. It's the only reason I've heard of it.
MacGyver was, for people in the room that don't know MacGyver. MacGyver was a very famous show in the '90s, late '90s, I think, and he would always make stuff like it was a TV show, so it was like an investigation TV show, and he would always make things like he would create a bomb out of a pen in like
Right.
2 minutes, and like he would make all these different things
To
to.
always
It
get
was,
out of the predicament he was in. Like,
yeah,
just,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
that shows
It's
my age, right?
MacGyver. Yeah,
Yeah,
MacGyver. That was a great show. I love that show.
me too. Um, so anyway, and she had so much intrigue about the box that she built that she ended up actually putting a clip together of how the box was built. You could do it like 10 minutes with all the Amazon links. So I'm like, okay, like $250 later, here I go. And I was really intrigued with it because my mom had just passed and I wanted to see it. She was letting me know she was here. She kept taking her picture off the wall all the time. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can talk to my mom. So it's basically just a speaker box. You've got the SB7, and then these. I don't even understand all this stuff, guys. This deals with like reverb and things like that.
Yep.
And sorry, I was reading a message that popped up there.
Yeah.
And it just kind of helps with cutting out the white noise so you can pick up the sounds. This is really cool. I use this a lot. Like I had to shut it off while the guys were talking. I was pointing that the light was coming on because they get aggravated when they can't talk to me. So they'll just start setting this off. There's a red light, a blue light, and a beeping that they can do with it. So there's just different ways to have intelligent communication with them. And it's almost like addicting. Like all day long, I could be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do the box tonight. I'm gonna do the box tonight," because you just know, like it's to me, it's amazing that like they're like right here, and they can communicate, right? So yeah, that's that story. But if anybody's interested, I can always send you the clip with all of the little elements of making it, and it's pretty quick and easy. You don't have to be
So,
MacGyver.
so I guess, yeah, that's for sure. Because I know other people that have gone through that way. They've gone to Amazon and bought the parts, and because I know a lot of people that sell the that piece of equipment, they charge anywhere from $450 and up. And it's funny that Raymond, I put up the dates. Please tell me, Raymond, that you looked that up, because if you know that, that scares me.
That's why he's so witty, because all he does at home is watch MacGyver and live shows. That's all he does. He doesn't do anything else.
Yeah. So we definitely usually ask a question to our guests every week. Well, we don't have to ask this week because we already know. So your favorite piece of equipment. But what I do want to ask, because you have been on investigations.
Right.
So what's been one of your favorite places to investigate, and why?
I cannot actually remember the name of this funeral home, but I went on an investigation I went to another one that was crazy too. This guy's a Satan worshiper leader thing, and he had like all this anti-religious mannequins cut in half that looked like Jesus and Mary Magdalene having sex, and like that was crazy. That was creepy. But the funeral home that I went to, it's in Cleveland, Ohio, and there was this big scheme. It was like a family-owned funeral home, but people were like prepaying for their funerals, and apparently something about they were stealing the money and then not actually burying the people or something, or cremating them, so anyway, the whole thing was pretty creepy. But you would go in there, like where the I can't think, the incinerator was. There were a bunch of human ashes laying on the floor, and that one was just very intriguing. It had just such a long, crazy history. You could find civil rights posters in there. You found letters from people that I think at one point people lived there. It just was crazy, but it was like they just got up and vacated because, and I guess she's in jail now. The one that's still alive is in jail and supposed to be getting out. But yeah, it was a pretty cool experience just to see all the history in that building. And I really wanted to bring home one of the civil rights posters, but I'm like, something kept telling me don't, because something's attached to it. So I left it. But it was really cool. That was a cool experience.
It's definitely how we differ, because I would have been like, yeah, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I'll deal with it later. I'm bad for it. I don't mean to. I never take things out of places, but I'm always grabbing onto them. They're always like, oh, don't touch. If I ever went to, let's say, like the Ed and Lorraine Warren Museum, let's say, and you're not allowed to touch certain stuff, I'd be there rubbing myself all over him. I'd be like, come on, we'll deal with the evil later. Come on.
Well, the civil rights posters were like in this closet, and there was a whole bunch of them, but it was the type that people would have like walked down the streets with. It was like during like the Martin Luther King stuff. Like they probably were really worth the money, but it was a really cool piece of history. I really wanted it, and I often, when I think of that spot, I'm like, I should have took one of those damn posters, because it was pretty cool. But yeah, I enjoy investigating as well. I think it's a neat.
Well, I was on a live last night with Angelina and Christina. They went to the Air Force Base, and they actually saw this amazing poster in one of the rooms. And it was like a civil rights poster, and it had the map, and it had all these pins and strings going to one spot in the map. And they were going to take it, but I think they rethought about it, and they said, no, we're not going to take it, but we're going to take a picture, and we're going to send it to the Historical Society and see if they want it, because if there's something attached to it, then it could stay there.
Right.
So, but
I'm curious of the rules of attachment, because what if someone took something and then sent it to me? Would it stay with them, or would they send the whole thing? Because otherwise people are going to send all the stuff to me.
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
My belief is that it's going to go with the person that's the most susceptible to being manipulated. So I wouldn't bring it to my home because I have children here, right? So I differ from you quite a bit, because I know it's there. I don't want to deal with the negative in the dark. To me, I would rather get intellectual answers, like, is there heaven? I believe there's different planes of spiritual realms that they go to. I've had spirit that a handful of them that their back is to me and they can communicate, but they can't turn around and look at me. So I'm like, are you going to the next spiritual realm? Are you coming back for reincarnation? Like, I want those answers. I could care less about what the devilish people are doing over there, because I don't want it in my life. I had enough devilish people in life, right?
You know, it's funny you say that about the different realms, because I know somebody that went to a medium and they wanted to find out more about their loved ones. Unfortunately, her brother at a very young age disappeared. He was never found, and he was assumed dead. And so she went to a medium, and the medium actually told her that because her father had passed as well, and she said, your brother is dead, unfortunately, but your brother and your father are on different planes. Your brother's here, but your father's up here. So they know they're dead. They seen each other or whatever it was, but they're on different levels on where they are.
Yeah.
Because of what he did and what her father did.
Yeah, I think there's certain things that you have to, I don't know if it's something that you have to accomplish maybe that you didn't do, or maybe once you're in this realm, you have to do so much guidance of a living person. Like, I don't know. I do believe that there's different realms. I also believe that spirit can be everywhere at once. That sounds strange, but just different things. Like when my mom passed, my sister and I, my sister had a dream, and my mom was wearing exactly the same clothes. She was taking her to the or hugging her to leave for the hospital, and then I picked up the dream, picking her up at the door to take her to the hospital. Same clothes.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah. So I believe that I have spirit touching me right now. You guys see I keep getting distracted, right? Sorry, it's one of my little nuances I do. So yeah, I think that they're everywhere at once, and that they can, manipulate and give signs and all those things all at once to different.
So what I want for everybody that's in the room right now. So what we're basically going to be doing next. Laura is going to be giving a reading to Lex. And if there's anybody in the room right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the link out in the chat. And if you want a reading, let us know. Just come up. We will, somebody says I'll do it. Just come up in the room. We're going to just try to keep it to one. So I will let everybody know when there's somebody in the room. So I'm going to share this.
If I could, Bryan, if there's someone,
sure.
If there's someone watching who lost a male that I think he was shot, he's coming through. So I would love to talk to them about him. They've got to be here, or they're coming on at some point, because I never talk to spirit that doesn't deal with like whom I'm dealing with.
So if there is somebody in the room that had that happen to them, or they know somebody, please come up if you want a reading. So why don't you guys get started with Lex? I'm actually really interested in this. Yes, I know Lex really, really well, especially after that trip. But maybe there's something I don't know about him.
Do you know me well?
Yes,
I
do
see
know
the
you.
side of me that I want the world to see.
Well, no, I think at the beginning of the show, that's pretty well you.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
So just to be, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, just to be fair, I did pick up earlier Lex's grandma coming through, but we stopped it because we wanted to save the reading for you guys. So if you want to, Lex, while I try to reconnect with her, why don't you just tell them what you were telling me about how cool it was that I would bring her up, of all people?
Okay, so anyone who's known or watched my YouTube channel, they know that I lost my grandmother a while ago. But during this paranormal thing, I got my mum involved, and we did a Red Book game series where we tried to contact anybody using just a book and a candle. And the Red Book game specifically means I had to find a book that was red in color, no pictures in it at all. So I went to the library, found a red book, took it out, took it home. Don't know what's in this book at all. And as we're playing this game, we eventually try and get round to, can you tell us your name? Can you tell us your name? Constantly asking this question. And when we opened the book and I put my hand down, it landed on the name Margaret, which was my grandmother's name. and she was responding to my mother in the video. So it was a really emotional video to make, and it was just really cool that the first thing that Laura picked up on was my grandmother knocking around. Because I've also got her a gravestone thing tattooed to my arm in memory of her. So this is for my gran. And so it was just a really, really cool thing to throw up straight away. Like, it shook me a little bit.
So, what I'm going to do, for those of you that haven't ever seen me read, I tend to just, it seems like I'm chatting and I talk about the most random stuff, but it usually comes full circle as to why. I shouldn't say usually, it does. I do feel, I don't know why, the whole time you were talking, I felt like your grandma was talking about some dog. And this is kind of general, but it's okay. We'll get more into the other specific stuff. I don't know if you have a pet dog. She had a dog she was crazy about, but she keeps making a big deal about some dog. Do you know what this is in reference to?
Yeah, she had a beautiful golden retriever called Prince, and
Okay.
and he lived longer than most dogs of his breed do, so she had him for a very long time.
Okay. So funny. When I first started doing readings, every time I seen a dog, it was always brown, big or small. For whatever reason, I kept thinking, I knew it was a bigger dog, but I kept thinking like a German Shepherd for some reason. It's okay. Sorry. So how personal do I get on here?
You can go as personal as you'd like to. If I cry, I cry.
All right. Relationship, I can touch on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, is she watching?
No.
Okay. That's not who you're going to be with long term. You guys aren't healthy for each other. I don't want to go too much like into personal stuff.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. So, and when I say unhealthy, guys, it doesn't mean I'm saying they're at the house beating each other up or anything. They're just emotionally not healthy for one. It's not a good fit. I feel like Grandma's like talking about you guys are both like, I know, knocking heads, real strong headed. I feel too, and earlier before we got on here, I wanted to say this. You have to be really careful when you're investigating. I feel that something is very much going to attach itself to you. So you make sure that you're cleansing yourself and surrounding yourself. So it doesn't surprise me that you're like, okay, just come on, evil. Da, da, da. I think that you're going to get what you ask for, so you really need to watch yourself. And I think it's strange because on one hand, like you're very open, like how you were talking in the beginning, right? But on another level, I feel like whatever wants to attach to you sees this like the side of innocence is kind of like how I feel. I almost feel like they're showing me almost like if you were a little boy still in an innocent stage. I don't know your personality very well. Does that make sense to you?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean,
you're new in the paranormal though, right?
I'm very new in the paranormal, yes. So 2 years in.
I wonder if that's like the innocence thing that I'm getting, like that you're still innocent and don't know what you're getting into, maybe. You know how like you could lead a kid into like a fun house and because they're innocent, you can be like, it's going to be scary, but they don't really know what they're getting into, right?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like they just keep showing me something about like this innocence with you. I think it's a draw. I think they're like drawn to it. So just please be very careful what you ask for, and I wouldn't provoke darkness to come to you. I think that can just, that's going to put you in a bad place. So just be careful with it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you have questions for Grandma specifically? Because with Grandma, I feel like she's got a lot going on. So like, I felt like she was showing me something about your mom in the kitchen and then the dog. And so I feel like she's just like all over the place because she's kind of excited to talk to you, right? So do you have like a question that maybe we can lead into and then that'll help me get further validations for you?
I don't know what kind of questions I'd ask. I don't know what kind of questions to ask.
Well, she's obviously at peace. Let me at least just say that. I think that I don't think I've ever actually met spirits that are I've had some that I think need help, but it's not that they're in a bad place. Maybe they need help getting messages, or
Yeah.
But she's happy. Like she appears to me the way that she would have been in life, like in a really good place. And the dog is like just sitting there, so I'm pretty sure that they're like stuck together like glue as well. So
Mm. Um. I mean,
if
it's
you
not
if
just
you
lost.
don't have
I
a
got
question,
lost for words. I actually don't have anything.
okay.
I'm really bad with that.
What about if it's not for grandma? What about did grandma go just like really fast in her sleep?
No.
I almost wonder if I'm picking up another lady over here. She didn't pass very quickly, like just was gone.
Not her. No.
Oh, do you have someone else though that did?
I have like a really an old best friend of mine who passed
Okay.
away. Yeah.
This is probably spiritual piggybacking. I get it a lot, right? It's like kind of like they just make their way in there. They nudge. A lot of times it's like the same names and stuff. It's really weird. Okay. Yeah, I keep feeling the need to talk about that. That's why I was like, is this grandma? I feel like they were just like they were gone. Like there was no, had somebody been in there and caught them sooner, they would have came out like they were just gone. So just know that. I think it's important for you to know that like nothing could have been done for them. They just passed. It was like an instantaneous thing. Um, I also have something coming through about water. What is this? Do you also have a male that passed?
Say
Somebody
again.
that would be more a male that passed that would be more contemporary to you in age?
Not. No one comes to mind. I mean, there could be. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I don't want to reach. I don't want to reach for it. It's hard to say
Yeah.
because we've got Bryan in here. We've got all these people watching. It's kind of like I feel like I'm this light at the end of a dark tunnel. I'm standing with a flashlight. So they, come on, let me in, right? Um, there is a guy here though that is talking about something with water, and so I keep feeling like I don't feel like he drowned, but I feel like the water is a big deal. I don't know what this is. Does anybody in the room know what this is?
If anybody has a comment, something about water, if
I
somebody,
almost feel like maybe he was found by water, but not in the water, or I don't even feel like it's like he loved the water, like he was out there on the water all the time. Like it doesn't feel like that kind of feel. It feels like the water, the water. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. Lex, let me try to redirect because sometimes this happens where I'll start getting a little scattered with spirit. What about questions on paths that you're thinking about taking? Something where I can try to connect the spirit for you. Um, just in general life stuff.
General life stuff. Uh. I'm a shitbag for questions. I'll tell you that.
I see.
For someone who hosts an interview show. I don't have a specific like. I'd like to maybe if anyone could help me know. Am I going to have to make a choice which would determine a path that I'm on?
Yes.
Because I'm kind of at the moment I feel like I'm not moving anywhere. I'm kind of just on this middle ground, and I don't know what
And
I'm
it's
doing.
so funny because as I'm connecting to your spirit, it's funny because I feel like I don't know if you see my energy shift from like being real happy and to just feeling like kind of like this stagnancy. Um, yes. Have you been contemplating going back to school to do something to like further something down the road?
Not school, but going back to something going back to doing music stuff that I was doing before, which I spent a
Okay.
lot of my life doing.
I think that you should be doing that as well. I think that I think that's a good path for you. I keep being shown you going back. That's why I thought it was school, going back to it, right? So I think that you should be. It's really strange though, because I hear like, well, I'm going to be blunt. Yeah, I know you can handle that, right? I hear like that the music is good for you for like a hobby, but I don't think that's going to take you anywhere either, if that makes sense. Have you been sitting stagnant for a while? Because I keep feeling like I see you. I think part of your problem is your relationship. I hate to say that. I don't know how else to be. I just have to be honest with you. I think part of your, I feel like it's a distraction to get you focused on the path that you're supposed to be on, if that makes any sense. So, it doesn't mean go home and break up with your girlfriend. I don't mean that, but I just think that you need to. I just think that you need to really probably gather yourself and think about your end game and where you want to be and who can take that ride with you and what changes and things you need to navigate to get there.
Yeah.
I think he already knows that.
He does.
I think he does.
Okay. Well, there
It's
you go.
just I think it's a difficult choice when you're with somebody for a long time.
It is, and I'm going to tell you something. It's because my oldest daughter's in the same situation. We get so comfortable in that change becomes a scary thing, right? We're accustomed to the cycle that we're in, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I've been in an abusive relationship that was the same thing, and you kind of lose yourself in the relationship, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, right? And you kind of forget that you're a separate. But I think that as much as it would pain you to step away, basically you're going to do what's inevitable anyway. And so all you're going to do is postpone that and make it last all this much longer to get to the same end result, if that makes sense. Yeah. I think that there's something much better for you than where you're at the moment. See, and I feel uncomfortable because I see his face. Like we went from laughing and smiling to. So I'm like, and it's not a private reading. So I'm trying to like be a little. Okay. I'm trying to be a little.
So let me introduce you to Amy. Emmy is here. She's with PDX Paranormal. Okay. She doesn't want to come on video, if that's okay. There you go. See, I don't know why you said it in the chat. Do I have to come on video? Yeah, you look fine.
No. Try to act like I could see you before you came on, right?
Can you guys
How are
hear
you?
me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, awesome.
I love it.
Everyone?
Everyone's great. You don't be nervous.
I am nervous. I don't know why.
I can tell that you're nervous.
Because I'm fidgeting, huh? I don't know why. Okay.
Okay.
That's all right. I have to apologize, you guys. I drink a ton of canned water while I'm reading. I get really dry. The guy that was shot's not for you though, Emmy?
No.
Okay. Who? Don't tell me who. I know why you're nervous. She's like, I got questions, but do I want the answers? Okay, I just have to ask before I go any further. What is beside you that looks like a big hand sitting on the couch? What is that? Yes.
It's a doll. It's a clown.
Oh, okay.
Lord.
I see. Yeah. I see the legs and the arm, I'm guessing.
This one. This is also a doll. Yeah, it's a doll.
Oh, okay. Okay, so why don't you ask a question and we'll start that way? Don't give me information. Ask a question.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny how much people are like right on the spot with like, well, you obviously have questions about life. You're talking to me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Am I heading down the right path that I'm supposed to be?
No. No.
Okay.
No, you need to definitely make some changes. Man, I'm like, I got everybody's negative news today. I don't want to be negative.
And I want to say this before you go on, Laura. At the beginning, before we went on live, I said you are not allowed to read me.
Do you have anxiety?
Yeah.
Yes. It's funny because I pick that up. I suffer from anxiety, PTSD, right? And so I feel it. I can feel all that. That's why you're fidgety. But I can feel your mind right now is like, right? So I'm like, oh,
Yep.
but no, you're not in the right place. I think that you already know that as well, but you just are like, but if I just do this, it'll work. Or if I just do that, and it's going to, no, you need to change your path as well. That just sounds horrible. I hate telling people like this, but yeah, change your path. Are you with a guy with dark hair, brown hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Be careful.
How
Just
blatant?
say it. Don't sugarcoat anything. Just say it.
Okay, well, I'm not much for sugarcoating, but I'm trying to like. I mean, we're on public domain, right? I feel can he hear me? Is he watching?
No.
I don't want to hit put out on me, right? I feel like it's quite different than Lex's though. Like I feel like he's taking you nowhere. Like dead weight. I don't know how else to say. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel
so
like
I want everybody to know, if you want some relationship advice, don't go to Laura.
Right?
if you want to hear should you propose, come to Laura because I'm gonna let you know if you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
It's really funny because I feel like you guys actually get along and you have like this really friendly thing going on, but I feel like I don't know if he's like a man child. I don't know if he's sitting around doing a whole lot of nothing, but I keep feeling like that's what you're going to get with him, like a whole lot of nothing. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
My heart's like going right now.
So is mine.
So it's mine.
So, do you know?
Especially the man child. That's
that's a lot of men. That's a lot of men. So, but no, with him specifically. So, I have to say something. It could be alcohol, but I don't think so. Does he mess with drugs?
marijuana. It's legal in Oregon.
Well, no, that's it's not legal here in Iowa. Okay, whatever. You're sure he doesn't do anything else?
As far as I know, he don't. I don't think so. No, he used to have a history with it a long time ago. Before
Okay,
I met him.
there you go. That's the validation. Then sometimes I can't tell if it's past, present, or future, right? Yeah, okay. I actually think that he's going to get to a point where he relapses. I hate to say this, but I do. And I think the sooner that you get yourself together and realize, like, hey, it's already not really working, the better it will be. I just feel like I don't know if there's children. I feel like he fools around a lot. Like, he's just not, he's like getting on my nerves, and I don't even know the guy. I don't know. I'm kind of like, would you get off your ass and do something over there? Like, that's how I feel. Right? So.
Oh my.
I think
maybe I shouldn't have come on camera. No, I'm joking.
Here's the thing, honey, too, though, is I want you to know something. I said this to Lex about just relationships in general, but I very much feel it with you. I think you've really kind of lost track of like who you are as an individual, and that you're not giving yourself your own self-care and self-worth that you need. So I think that you should start back with that and just be like, you know, I'm worthy of this. I deserve this. Don't say it to him. You don't have to argue with him and be like, you're a piece of shit. Don't do all that, right? But, you know, so much that we can accomplish in life starts with self-healing, right? And self-care. And I just want to share something really quickly. I'm actually been starting a book, but, you know, I feel like it's always important to share with people that no matter what you've been through in life or where you're at, like that dark streak doesn't have to follow you for your whole life, right? So like I'm a survivor of sexual abuse growing up. And so this is going to sound very odd, but I actually think that's what set me up for.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
Raymond.
Raymond knew something I watched the show.
That's awesome. That's
funny.
awesome. Yeah.
But I actually think, some people would use that as a crutch to either be promiscuous or be a druggie or be a thief or a piece of doo-doo person, right? Like many other situations. But I think that actually kind of opened me up to be blessed with my gifts, because while I was going through that trauma, I would disappear in my own mind, right? So I think it allowed chambers to open up that a lot of people probably don't have access to. So I say that because I just want you to realize, like, you have to get to a place of healing for yourself and to realize that you're worthy, whether it's from the anxiety or abuse or someone talking down to you, that you can still do much better than where you are today, if that makes sense.
Is there, Emmy, is there anybody that's passed that you might want to ask a question to?
Yeah, my grandma.
What's the question?
Is she here with me? Or watching over my kids?
Always. Is your grandpa still alive? Do you have a brother?
I just found him last year.
Okay. It's really strange because at first I was thinking it was her husband, because I keep getting this preoccupation with this other guy, almost like, well, hey, I'm over here with this too. You know how I was saying, like, spirit can be everywhere? I almost feel like, oh, I think she's trying to say, like, she led you guys together. She was, like, working over here to get you guys together. Yeah, she's touching me. I swear I wish, like, I turned colors when my goosebumps came up so you guys could see me light up, because it's just the strangest.
A flare camera.
Yeah. Well, they touched me. They touched me for validation, like, hey, yep, you got it, right? So she is around you. I think that she does worry about you, depression, maybe. Yeah. So just she wants you to take care of yourself. She's around you. Doesn't mean she's not proud of you and loves you and all that stuff that we want to hear, right? But she wants you to know that you're worthy and to make sure that you get yourself where you need to be for self-care.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Amy. So if you want to make sure that your boyfriend doesn't see any of this, I make sure that you delete it off all your pages.
Actually, I want to ask you, I'm married. Do you know how long I've been married for?
So it's really funny because my gifts don't always work like that. Now, there's times that I might be like, oh, wait, I just heard Bill, or I get really specific things, right? I feel like I'm hearing that you guys have been together for a very long time, and that's why you're not wanting to move from it. So I don't, but as far as like getting a year, like, hey, they've been together 3 years or 13 years, like, my gifts don't work like that, unfortunately. If they did, we'd all be on lottery winnings.
True.
Well, thank you very much, Amy. I appreciate
Thank you
that.
for having me.
And by the way, it's very nice seeing you. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know.
I hope
you guys
you're doing well.
Left me.
No, nobody's left.
I know you guys have.
We're all here.
Busy. We've all been busy. I hear you. But thank you for having me out. And
thank you.
I definitely want those directions to the box you made.
Okay, sounds good. I'll do that. Send me a message and then I'll get them for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Amy.
Bye,
you guys.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, that was that was good. Maybe that should have been done in private. No, I'm just
stop it. That's why I'm already tiptoeing. Like, okay, well, wait, we're on public domain. What do we say here? It's hard. It's hard to, in a situation like this, unless I can be like, well, hey, Bill says ABC. It's really hard because for me, my gifts, I feel like spirit really gives me things to help. I almost feel like a spiritual counselor or something. Like, I'm constantly talking to people about trauma or healing or self-care, because so many of us suffer from that stuff.
Lex is still speechless.
What? He did
Lex
what?
is still speechless.
I know, right? Is that a good speechless, or you think I'm full of shit speechless?
No, it's a good one.
Okay, good.
Sorry, I'm still here. I'm just something's weird in here, so I'm just.
It's probably spirit I sent over there because they go everywhere when I'm talking to you guys.
It smells really bad in here now.
Does it smell like sulfur?
Yeah.
Yep. You better listen. I want you right now to just declare that it leaves. It's not allowed to be there. You do that, seriously. Just say it out loud. Like, command it to leave.
You need to leave.
Oh, that was
Now.
scary.
That was scary, yeah.
Hey, can you choo-choo?
Yeah.
It's fine. Whatever's in here. It's just weird. Out of nowhere, it was like here.
Yeah.
And now it's over there.
But you know
Yeah.
what's funny is that it's probably trying to, because now I brought light to the fact that I could tell that there's something around you wanting to try to, mess with you. It's probably going to start. That'll happen. The other night on my live, I don't know if you were there, but I had the same exact thing, and right on the live, I said, "Oh, absolutely not." I burned some sage, and I said I could smell sulfur. It's the same thing.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah.
Get out.
So, Laura, why don't you explain a little bit on your show, what you do on your show, and how the SB7 came upon, and then why don't you turn that sucker on and see what we can get. And if anybody wants to ask any questions in the chat, you can do that.
So I'm going to
yeah.
have to stand up for just a second because I unplugged it to get you guys the visual, and I don't know where the cord went. I think it's right there. So guys, basically, on my page, I used to do nothing but free readings constantly on there, or I would do like little mini readings. You could pay like $25 and get a mini reading or something on there. But my followers who have been with me for a very long time love that. They love the readings more than the box, which is funny, but they're not into the paranormal like we are. I like the box a lot because, like I said, I could say what I want to say, and people can watch it and be like, but if I've got my hands up here and I'm holding this device and it's responding to me intellectually, I would have to be one hell of an actress to be able to pull off,
Here's Rosanna Martinez. She wants to, I guess, find out about her mom.
So, guys, your mom is fine. It's funny. I feel like I deal with this so much that I'm just like so cold about it. I don't mean to be. I think a lot of times when you guys ask me questions like that is because you actually need further validation about something. Like, is she still upset, or did I make the right choice? Like, I feel like your mom's saying to just relax, that she's in a good place. Quit with the worry. So I'm going to leave it at that. But I want to tell you guys, spirit doesn't go over there and hold grudges. Like, I've had people ask, like, do they care if I'm having sex with someone else? And they could care less. I'm sure that they're probably in the bathroom with me when I'm using the restroom, but I don't think they really care, right? Like, that's not their mission at this point. Oh, look, they're saying yes, they come in the bathroom with me. Look at that.
So tell us how you go through the steps working with the SB7, and then so everybody has an idea when they're coming over to your page, and if they want to ask you a question, they can do that.
Yep. So basically, I just power the speaker box back on. I can't lift it up to show you guys because of the plugs. But
power on. Audio mode is connected.
The two little devices, the reverb thingies on the side, are turned on, but I have it turned down so you can't hear the voices yet. And then, of course, most of you are probably familiar with this. They keep lighting up the blue. Can you turn that blue light back on? There we go. I'm gonna turn this light down a little bit so you guys can get a better view.
So that is the up-to-date version of the SB7, right?
I've had this for about a year. I don't really know. I don't keep up with it. I just know it works for me. So is that good for you guys?
Yeah. Does it have the temperature thing on the top?
So I don't know. Here's the funny thing. I just followed the instructions and started talking to it. I don't understand how it works. I do know I can touch it wherever and nothing happens, with the exception of they're playing games, because it should be beeping right now. Can you make this beep for me? There is something here, like a little clear globe. I don't know what that does.
That is the temperature. That is the temperature.
That is? Okay.
Yes.
So, but here's the thing. Look, it should be getting red then at this point, right? Because my finger's on it, I would think. So, there they go. They turn the blue light back on. Can you? Hi. Thank you. Would you guys like to do some yes and no questions? If so, turn the light back off and then we'll turn it on for a yes. They're like, no, witch. Turn the speaker on so we can talk.
Yeah. So what? I'm,
Oh, look, they flashed it. It's oh, okay. 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 Well, I can't ask questions if you keep turning it back on. I don't know why this isn't beeping. Oh shoot, I turned it off. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Okay. They keep playing games with this thing. I don't know. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'll turn on the big speaker so you can hear them talking. And then if this is acting up, I'll unplug it. And it'll be a little harder to hear, but you can always just take this mobile by itself, which is nice too. So Spirit, hello. Hello, can you guys hear me?
yes.
Yeah, they're very intellectual. I don't know what that is. That guy does that all the time. Hey, you guys made a horse whinny last night. Can you do that one again? I've had a horse now twice, I think. What's your name? They're getting ready to do something. I can hear it picking up. Hey, guys, can you tell me your name? I'm here. Is that what she said?
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard too.
That child is here all the time too, which I've lost. I've lost a baby, so I feel like it's mine. Okay, so Spirit, while I've got the speaker on, can you turn the light on as well?
That sounded like sure.
Thank you, please. You can do blue or red. You can make the machine beep. Sure. How many of you are here with me today? Yeah, with me. How many? I think you said 10. I keep seeing movement back here. I want to scoot back and see if I see it. I keep seeing dark coming out like in to this area. Remember how this room does it? There it goes. Look. Yeah. 3. Are you in the room next to me? He said, huh? I said, are you in the room next to me over here? You're here. Can you guys tell me your name? Margaret, are you here? That's your grandma's name, right, Lex?
Yep.
Right there. That was it right there. That sounded like it said that right there.
I heard a woman come on, too. Margaret, can you say hello to Lex? I'm so cold right now. Hi.
That sounded like it.
So usually when it gets like that, they start turning the lights and stuff on. I'm kind of thrown off that this isn't. Hey guys, would you turn this back on for me? Could you please do that? We have people watching that want to hear from you and see that you're here. Okay, do you see the black now? Let me see back. Hi, what's your name? Pat? Did you say Pat? Come closer, guys. I'm losing you a little bit. Look at what?
You can ask about my mom.
What's your mom's name?
My mother's name was Elsie. Hi, Mom.
Elsie,
I just got that. Hi, Mom. It said, hi, Mom.
Elsie, can you say hello? Could you let Elsie come forward and say hello, everyone? I feel like they're showing me Elsie is somewhere else. Did you hear a woman in the background?
Oh, well, I don't know what that was.
Come on, guys, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. Could we do something with the light or the beeping at this point? Yeah, the light. Sure. Now would be good. She said, "Get back to work." Somebody's over there driving them. Get back to work. Hi, who's trying to speak to me? The nurse?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you ask my mother when I came to visit her in the hospital that and she was in very bad state of dementia, and what she did when I walked into the room, she saw me, she couldn't speak, she couldn't do anything, she was dying, and she tried to lift up my hat, and she smiled, and I want to know if she recognized me before she left.
That's why I don't know if you could hear me. I immediately was like, she was aware. Yes. I think that's why she did that. She was trying to like make eye contact with you, like, hey, I see you. I know it's you, you know. Yeah, I feel like she's actually Guys, I'm gonna turn the speaker down. Watch, now they'll start playing with the lights, guys, because they get mad at me. I feel like Bryan. Well, you said I'm not allowed to read you. Should I go any further or no?
You can say about my mom, yeah.
Okay. I feel like she's making reference to, and I'm thinking this is something she probably said to you, like how you're covering your face up, like uncover your eyes. Like, you know how kids will like wear their hair down in their eyes and stuff, and a mom, like, I feel like that's kind of like she's making the joke about the hat. Like, you've always got your face covered up. Take the hat off, you know? So, yeah, she's very much aware. She was very much aware. And cool. I feel like that was her little, like, to do to you. Like, come on, I can't see your face, you know?
Yeah, it had been almost 16 years since I'd seen her.
Oh. Well, she was very aware.
Yeah. And unfortunately, she died a month later. She was diagnosed with dementia, and then about 6 to 7 months into her diagnosis, she fell down the stairs, and she hit her head. And they say if you have a bump on the head serious enough, that it actually speeds up the dementia. So she went from having it for almost a year to almost having it for 5 years.
Wow.
And she just she went downhill very quickly. Within 2 months, she had passed away. So, but that's great. So basically, this is what Laura does on her shows. So if you definitely want to go check out her show, and she pops up every so often, and I don't think she has a regular schedule,
I haven't. I did have one for a while, and then my mom passed, and I'm just starting to
Thank
get
you,
back in the groove. And I
Rosanna.
just have to say that as you were talking about your mom, I don't know if you heard it, but I have a gate right here that was pushed into my chair. I don't know if you see me look really fast, but it actually is leaned up against my chair now from the door frame.
Mm,
So I feel like she was acknowledging, or somebody
yeah.
was. 'Cause, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so you can go check her over on check her over on Parapost Network Central, her YouTube channel, her Facebook page, and I did leave a link in the description that if you are interested in a reading, just click on that link and go over to the page and send her a message, and I'm sure she will be very happy to do a private reading for you. Oh, that's okay, Dom. Thank you. And I believe Rosanna also said it as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But Laura,
Thank you
this
very
was great. It was
Thank you
really
guys.
get to learn about you more. And I do enjoy watching your show. It's a lot of fun because a lot of things come through that. And you know what, everyone, thank you, Adam. I think, this has been kind of what happened today on the Spirit Box is really, really minuscule compared to what really goes on your show.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that usually come through. And Thursday, when we were watching your show, when me and Dom were in the room, there was a lot of things coming through. So you definitely want to check out her show. But I want to say my thank yous, and I really appreciate you coming on today's show.
Thank you both. And I didn't mean to mess up your energy, Lex. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. I jump at the chance to do this kind of stuff all the time anyway.
Okay.
Sorry for being distracted at the end there. I don't know if you can
okay.
hear it on the microphone, but all my machines in the kitchen have turned on.
What?
So my dishwasher's running, my washing machine's spinning.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if you can hear it because it came on. But
No, we can't hear it. Or at least I can't. I don't know if
can't
anybody else
hear
can.
it's just weird. I didn't know if this microphone would pick it up. But yeah, I just got really distracted. The smell's gone now, which is nice.
Yeah, because he's doing housework.
Yeah, it's just weird. But so sorry for
You
being
need to pull
distracted
his
there.
scrub while he's in there.
But other than that, I think it was really cool. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so appreciative. And Bryan, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And
Thank
seeing
you.
as I've never had a reading done before, that was pretty cool experience to get. So.
Okay.
Well, you can, Lex, you can definitely reach out to her more. I'm sure if it was more of a private one, she could probably be a little more open.
Yeah.
I need to deal with this one, and then maybe I'll do a private one further down.
Let me see if I can handle it. Yeah. Well, I hope I didn't cross any boundaries. I was trying very hard to be mindful and respectful because we are on a public domain, and that's not my intention ever to, put someone on blast. So
I'll definitely take my safety on board because I'm definitely a dumbass who would jump at the chance to do something stupid and deal with the evil that I keep joking around. So
yeah, and see now it's showing itself. That's not coincidental, right?
No, right? It's just weird, and it's turned off now as well. Everything's just turned off.
Yeah.
I truly believe everything happens for a reason, and sometimes it's an outsider looking in that's got to give those tough things that need to be said sometimes. And I think if anything, Lex can appreciate that because he is the type of person that speaks his mind, and I appreciate that, and I think a lot of people appreciate that as well. Lex, we all know that there's a guy there. It was a show last year that I saw a guy come across when you were out in the main room.
I knew I had like a passenger thing because we had that whole thing before when I was in the green room with you, and I left and recorded my bedroom.
I'm gonna have to put your YouTube channel. Like, I don't even follow you guys on YouTube and stuff. Like, I need to. So I guess being an administrator, I need to start getting on everybody's stuff. So I just please know when I say anything to you guys, it's all meant from a good place, with love and to help you, not to ever, be malicious.
I definitely want to try and figure out what the innocent thing is, like what the innocence is.
I do believe that. I do believe that's why I said I remember you saying something the other night about being, or maybe Bryan did, that you were really new into the industry, and I think that might be the innocence that I'm seeing, kind of like, well, you're just coming into, you don't really know what you're doing. So
Maybe. Because
they have
I've
to give
only
it to me so I understand it, right?
Yeah, because I've only ever had one negative experience, like one really negative one. That's what got me into it. Like when I was 17, when I saw this
Mhm.
really scary thing. But ever since then, I've never been anywhere that's been very malicious. Like except for what we did that one on tour, where there was an aggressor that like scratched a friend of ours and strangled, like throttled one of the girls, and we called them out on it and was really aggressive towards it. But we've never really, I haven't yet run into anything really bad yet, like since I've done it. So it could be that.
But see,
But
I think you're also brushing things under the rug. Like you just said that you had a horrible sulfur smell, and now there's spiritual activity going on in another room. So the thing is that, you know, as investigators, we're curious and we're like, hey, come on, this is kind of cool, even though I'm a little freaked out. Like even me, I'm not beyond getting scared, right? Like some can scare the shit out of me, and I deal with dead people all day, right? So
nah.
I mean, I just think that you need to be aware that even though you don't think you really are encountering it, that stuff is around us just like our loved ones or just like the angelic spirits or whatever, you know, you want to say. So they look for avenues and people that they can, and it could just be a dark shadow. Listen, the relationship stuff could be part of what they're doing because you've got this tarnished relationship thing going on, right? So like it can hit you in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be you're going to get possessed and, you know, be locked up in the nut house because they think you're crazy. It doesn't have to be that kind of thing, right? So, I mean, the darkness can follow us in different ways. Just like with the other lady and her anxiety and depression, like that's, you know, to me, that's something dark. It takes self-healing and getting away from it. So it's all about perspective.
I think he's a little freaked out what's going on at home. So
I'm not
we'll just.
freaked. I don't get freaked out by any of this stuff. The smell one was weird because I didn't like it. It smelled horrible.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, I have a door open in here. Like my back door, I'll quickly show you. My patio door is open, and I did that so I could, because it's hot in here anyway. So I've been having the door open all day. So I can't. All I can smell is from outside is like tree. I've got big trees outside, so all I can smell is the trees. So it was just really weird that it was really horrible for like 5 minutes. It was gross.
I think they were letting you know that I was right, that they're there, and just, you know, they're ready. They're ready to pounce. So you better be too.
So if you can sit in the back room for a minute, we'll be there shortly. And but again, thank you very much. And everybody, her links are in the description. You know, I have to be honest, I'm a little thrown off about the whole you know, the readings things. I'm a little thrown off by those. So but anyways, thank you very much again. We will talk very shortly, obviously. And thank you again for coming on today's show.
I need to wait in the back.
Yeah, if you can wait in the back room for a minute, that'd be great.
Bye, guys. Okay. Thank you, everybody. It was nice being here. Thank you guys so much.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, that was definitely interesting. That was a new one. I enjoyed that, and you're welcome, Andrea. And for everybody that came into the room today to watch, I really appreciate. There were a lot of great comments. I want to say thank you for the people that said happy birthday, and Laura, thank you for saying happy birthday, and you as well, Lex. Unfortunately, Lex will not be here next week, but I do have a sup. There's somebody that is going to be subbing for Lex, and I believe that is going to be Matt Barron from the Paranormal Consultant. He's going to be taking Lex's spot. So
it makes sense because he plagiarized the questions, so he knows.
And I was about to say that. It's okay for him to ask those questions on that show because he's going to be on Through the Lens. So we will have a guest for next week, and thank you very much, Andrea. I really appreciate that. But it's also Lex's channel as well. So, and Rosanna, thank you. But I want to say again, thank you to everybody that came in the room. I really appreciate that. If you can, again, go over and check out Laura. Whispering Angels. Her show is really good and it's a lot of fun and it's very interactive. So she talks to the people through the chat, people talk back to her, and things coming through the SB7 that are pretty cool. So other than that, I'm going to say my goodbyes. I'm going to enjoy my rest of my birthday, and we'll definitely see you next week.
I mean, I won't see you guys next week, but I hope you all have a blast while I'm gone. I will be watching the replay, so don't slag me off too much, guys. But I would like to say a massive thank you to Laura for coming on. I've only just started getting to know her through the Ghost Hunt project, and I mean, she's awesome. You all saw here today that she's she's ridiculously positive. I remember we made this joke before, like just screaming positivity when there's me, who's the opposite, just being negative all the time, and it's funny. But she's a wonderful person, so it was really awesome to actually have her on this show after seeing her on a couple of other ones and doing their own one. So make sure you all go and support her, and don't forget to support us in the Global Ghost Hunt. That huge thing. Keep your eyes out for that website. Get ready to buy, get your tickets done. Get ready to do your events. It's going to be great. And don't forget to support us by liking and subscribing to this channel, Through the Lens, to keep up to date with all your lovely guests and your amazing twosome, us. Keep up to date because there is some cool stuff in the future. So keep doing it. Share it out. Watch the replays. Watch this show again because it's going to be awesome. But yeah, good luck next week. I hope you have a fantastic time without me, Brian. And I hope you have a great rest of your birthday. So thank you so much.
Thank you.